Good morning. We offer ourselves moments of non-engagement. We are not busy with the mind. And we somehow cannot estimate enough the preciousness of it. Because of that, one has a moment of not being a seeker. The search drops, so the seeker. So no wonder that one is more at peace and happy, naturally. Then when the mind rises again, as it will do always, as long as one has a body alive, one will see that it is the mind. So there is no problem about that. Since the mind will not rise the search for who am I in fact. With one moment of non-engagement, this is possible. Anything you want to to say? Welcome. So the answer to this tyrannic question, who am I? I'm not yet enlightened. What is it? Or I am only sometimes when there will be permanently, and so on. I forgot. So unimportant it is. Yeah, maybe I can continue. That is the answer to the search is by disengaging from the preoccupation of the mind. It is not a solution in the mind. That will always be acceptable or successful, but for a while. While if you are freed from the dictatorship of the mind, I don't say freed from the mind, but the dictatorship of the mind, then you are free not to search. And who will be there to search or to find an answer? Anyway, any question? Anything you want to share? Is inspiring. Yeah.
This is playing with something. I wanted to hear what you had to say about it, because I notice if I just accept something in the moment as is, I don't go into the mind. And that also accepting whoever is accepting or whatever is accepting that. This seems to be helpful for me to just, when I do that, to not feel myself engaged.
Yeah. Yeah, but where are you when you don't engage yourself? What is it?
I go into like an emptiness with it. That's what I'm saying. If I just go, I accept it, I accept it, I accept it, there's no place for me to go.
Okay, so this you cannot push away, you cannot make it an object so that you can know it. This, from where you see the mind and accept and all that.
It's not.
Or tell me differently.
It's not making it okay or not okay.
Okay. Okay, it's just like it's your way to express. Actually, there is no problem. I am not searching. It's a way to express for you to say, I'm not searching because I know what is what, and so I'm freed from search, in a way.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because if I'm accepting it, I'm not in opposition to anything.
Yeah, sure. But you see, still, you could keep a flash of keeping quiet also, so that it will be like, that's what I am, but you don't need to express it, but you know, yeah, maybe it will appease more the mind, still. Maybe what I say is not worth to hear, but because you see, this spiritual talk, or it's not spiritual, but the neti-neti, or the consideration, everything is at its place and so on, is still a talk. You are still engaged in a way, even though it's a very intimate engagement. But if you dare to, even not to pick that, then you really keep quiet in a way that you see that there is no way to lose whatever. There is no way, even if your mind is busy, there is no way to lose what you are. I don't know, I just suggest you see by yourself. Is there anybody when you don't pick up anything? Because even if it is the hook only about that wise talk or wise going on in you, it will make you a wise man. it's even better to not to be a man and not to be wise. Yeah.
On that topic, if we imagine that there is nobody seeking anything, is it eventually consideration that awareness is seeking for itself, that it's its nature basically, that we don't need to tell ourselves a story, I'm seeking for something, but awareness recognizing itself in every moment as such? Is it, I mean, personally me, it brings me in a quiet moment because first there is no me, and then there is still that search allowed because it's a nature to recognize itself in everything.
But if everything is such, you don't need a recognition. Huh?
What's happening?
Yeah, because there is someone too much. You see, it's like, okay, probably you had the insight, the strong insight that you are that awareness, what you call awareness, and then you make a painting out of it or a music. That becomes dual, but it's a duality very tricky because it's about itself, and that's why you can say everything is awareness also. But you see, there is a. In fact, you trust more because still somebody is there. The fact to know everything is awareness than to keep simply quiet, where nobody can claim at anything. We understand each other.
Yes.
I think
it's
so.
Just, there is a confusing with also the Buddhist tradition that says that a quiet mind is a happy mind and all these things, so that basically, of course, happiness is what we are when we don't try to be anything or refuse whatever, but still when the mind is screaming so loud, there is a taste of unhappiness.
Sure.
So it's like a transition to be, I mean, it's a question, a transition, let's say,
to have
quiet down the
happier.
mind, like for the relative.
You know, here I don't believe too much in taming the mind. It will be for some time, or even maybe you are successful to tame it, but still this mind is there. Huh? And then you will not really be at peace, means there will always be somebody maybe at peace because he can always have the right answer. But it's not that quietness spoken from those who are freed from the tyranny of the mind. Because you see, if you are freed from the tyranny, it doesn't mean you made your mind better or quieter. Of course, if you don't search for yourself, there are moments of total quietness which you could not know before. But still, it's a quiet mind. I don't know if I have to add something. Do I have?
I mean, it's digesting.
They have their terminology, and I'm sure a great master in that would correct any concept which comes up with the sayings. So I cannot enter there because I have not been a Buddhist, though I know, of course, but so I would really say to you, the happiness even though it can be sometimes in the mind, but it is not the happiness directed to. The happiness is to be free from the tyranny of the mind. Let it be quiet, then of course you have a happy moment. Let it be unquiet, and then there is also happy. It will not be expressed in the mind, but there is a kind of happiness to know that you are not only a state of the mind, a state, mental state. So that's, I would say, real happiness. Of course, who is there to say I'm happy? Nobody, but it's pointing out. It's pointing out to something that you cannot objectify, so something that you can never lose. It's there. It's there in spite of you being there or not. So if you see, if it speaks to you what it said, don't spend more energy in trying to tame this wild beast. Just know that this wild beast, if it is seen, it comes from what you are. And that was the search after all. Yeah.
It seems to be more easy for me to disidentify from negative thoughts or from negative emotions or feelings. But sometimes there's coming such a joy, like
That's
happiness and joy. For example, like now I see since a while these lamps in the wind, and
it's amazing.
I cannot even describe it.
But what is amazing, the bulb or the wind? That's how the mind works. Then you get into trouble.
How to like somehow, I guess also this joy, it's also passing, so also this is not.
The joy is what?
Also the joy is going, also the happiness is going.
It looks like,
also,
yeah.
I cannot be that, and I cannot
Keep it. You cannot keep it, you mean?
Yes.
And that's your trouble.
It's not a trouble, but it's like the disidentification from it. Like it's so, I get very easily pulled into this very like blissful state.
Yeah, okay. Nothing wrong also with that. But what do you think it is, this blissful state? What is it?
And it's also passing.
It is also what?
It's also passing, so
Yes.
it cannot be.
Yes. So just know that you are the seer, not the seen. That can pass also? I am asking you.
It's what?
You are the seer, not the seen.
Yes.
I ask you if this also can pass or not.
No.
Ah. Okay then.
Ganga,
Yeah.
what is the difference between the seer,
The seer, yeah.
and the witness?
Ah. The seer sees the witness. And if you ask who is the seer, it's the arrogant witness who is asking who is the seer. So better stay where the seer sees the witness.
Can you say that again?
But maybe it will be less good. No, you can always ask, no, but who is seeing? Then you give an answer. Let's say the witness, and then after the seer. Huh? The seer sees the witness. And then, who sees the seer? What do you think? Who is asking that? Tell me. Who can ever ask a question? Yeah, but which one? Because now we are in I, witness, seer. The mind.
The mind.
The mind. The mind. The mind, not to feel at loss, not to feel dethroned. He will ask, oh, but who is the seer? It's the arrogance. Because he wants to hold the knowledge. He wants to keep his throne. So that you discard. That question you discard. You can never question the seer. If you do, it's the mind who does it. Discard. So what else to be known? Yeah. Nivi, may I ask? Thank you. I got addicted now. The witness got addicted.
Can you be in the state of the
Where are you? Ah,
Can you be in the state of the Can you be in the state of the seer all the time?
you are all the time, but the states are changing. If you objectify the seer, it will become a state, and those go on changing. But what you are cannot be caught by the time nor the space. And the seer is all the time expressing itself. Look at from a gross object to the mega object, to the human object, to the micro object. It expresses itself all the time. And that goes on changing, because it's subject to time and space. Yeah. Did I answer?
Just if I turn my attention,
If you don't pay attention,
if I start paying attention,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
there is an awareness, but
That-
as soon as I start paying attention, then one more thought comes up. That's how it is for me.
that's a trouble. Or it's not a trouble because you know it's the mind, it's the expression of what you are. Finally, you can choose.
You mean finally you can choose?
Hmm?
What did you say? You can choose?
You cannot choose anything, but still, if you want to free yourself, you will, I think, finally know very well that if you hook at the mind, you will be in the mind troubled, or happy but troubled afterwards, because it's a train, no? It stops at all the stations possible, and this is infinite. The time is infinite. Now, if you say, okay, let me have a quiet moment, still in the mind, the moment quiet is in the mind, but at least you disengage yourself and there is nobody there. As it is always, mind showing up or not. But you see it by yourself, and then you will be convinced. It's a direction I give. May I ask you a question? Do you think that this, what you are, the self, you know the word self, the self, impersonal self, do you think it will express itself in a better way if it is with the qualities which are not objectified, or if it is objectified qualities? Do you think that the expression is better in one way or another? Regarding reality, regarding the truth of the thing. In other words, do you think to be in samadhi or in a meditative mood is better than to take a cappuccino? Probably yes. But I tell you, even if you feel better in samadhi than to take a cappuccino, it's still expression of yourself. So one is finally at peace and will not work necessarily to be in samadhi, no mind, or to be in mind, because he has disappeared in himself, in the impersonal self of all beings. And that knowledge, it's an unobjectified knowledge. It's like you don't search anymore. So that is not depending on states.
Is giving up the search the right thing to do?
Sorry?
Is giving up the search is the right way to go?
Giving up the search?
Is the right way to go.
Ah. Yes. But then, if you give up the search, is there a seeker? Tell me, you see, you go and see. Thank you. I ask you this, because don't make the mistake, oh, I give up the search, so I'm living like anybody else who don't search. No. Giving up the search, go and see if a seeker is still there. If you don't find anything, it's yourself. And from there, everything is okay. It's expression of yourself. Okay. Because it's not about changing codes. Worldly code, spiritual code, what not code. No. It's about seeing I've not to put a quote at all, and if a quote presents itself, it is an expression of this body and this mind that I know. Hmm? All the rest will be a work, excellent, why not, but concerning the body and the mind. All other practices. Is it clear for you? Okay. And nothing wrong with that, but it's good not to be confused.
Ganga is trying to get rid of the seeker. It sounds, the teaching could be interpreted, the seeker has to go away for the reality to reveal. But isn't that like, in a way, trying to uncurl the tail of the dog? Because the habit of the mind is to seek, so what? Like, I'm just thinking of the Huang Po quote, there's nothing, the reality is never lost in
I
in a state of
totally,
delusion, and
I
it's not
totally
gained.
agree that there is absolutely nothing to do, and to speak of split seconds and to speak of going back to the source, it's an indirect way. If one cannot take directly, what to say then? Very difficult. Because if you utter anything, it will be a direction to the mind.
Yeah. The point is, though, nothing needs to change for there to be more or less of the reality. It doesn't make. There's nothing
No,
to-
that's what I tried to say from the beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I say, if you are in samadhi or taking a cappuccino, of course I save my skin, but it doesn't matter. Actually, it's not about states of someone, you know. It's not about the states.
Or the identification or non-identification, and it just
It's
doesn't
all
matter.
the same.
Yeah.
It's all play of the mind, identification and beliefs, disidentification. All this is doing still, doing, undoing. Yeah. It's like you still think your mind is the trouble, and then you feel it's like a jungle, and you cut off the branches and all that, and to empty your mind and so on. And you cannot. It looks that most of us cannot do otherwise, even if they hear, don't do anything. So this not doing anything makes them do that. Or I have been in that, at least I speak of me then. But then, at some point, seeing that also doesn't work, there is no attainment, in fact, then maybe you can hear, but keep quiet, I mean, what are you doing? That you are enlightened as a person or not, who cares? I mean, it's the real thing is already here, since ever. But you have to, yeah. Okay.
actually seems it's really not conceptual. Anyway, we talk about this, there's some...
Yeah, but you know very well for yourself that you need it to clarify your concepts, to give up a few, to cherish a few others who look like going nearer the source of all this. All this is a movie of a seeker, and then the seeker is totally helpless, hopeless. I mean, in some cases they are very happy and successful, but let's speak of those who, for some reason, are not yet at peace. Then it will click. Oh my God, I'm going to always. I want to be naked, but still there will be somebody naked. I give up. I quit the subject. Even that is too much. And then I don't know what's going on, but maybe you can be struck by, oh, it really was in the movie, all this thing. And then, movie or not, there is no care about it. If it is not clear, please ask, because I don't know which language we speak sometimes.
Just to say, it's very beautiful, Ganga.
Okay, be contagious then. Be contagious then. I remember, you will laugh, but it's the truth, and I am sure you know the same. It was in 1973. Master, Papaji was in Portugal, imagine, at my mother's place in Sintra. And who was in front of him just to listen to him, not because I didn't tell my friends, but only my mother and me, because for some reason it was too early maybe to hear what Master was telling. And somebody gave him a book of Wang Po. So together, there was Master, my mom and me, looking at him, and he read Wang Po, the wonderful Chan patriarch of very long ago. And Master said, "Wow, finally I found somebody speaking like me." And it was extremely, those who have read Wang Po, you cannot say better. It's extremely more direct than whatever direct we can say. And my mom and me, we appreciated that totally. We thought so. Totally, you know. And when you see the history in the movie, it took us like 20 years. It's not an example, but just to say 20 years to see that before it really strikes you, means that all your buildings collapse. The mind will make tricks to understand better this and that, but there is no other ways too, unless you are boom, and it can also happen. I was not of those ones. So you see, we never know. We do our best. Otherwise, I would tell you, just read Wang Po, and that's it. And it can work, of course. You never know. But you see, Wang Po, just to tell, he had also disciples for years and years, and he was making them chewing koans. Chewing. So what we read is the cream of the cream. But he knew also that it may not be taken at once, so he was giving koans. 12 years making tea, cooking. Then koan. What is your face before birth? And so on. We know, huh? We know that. But surely, if you come to satsang, or if you live simply, if you have your life and you are preoccupied by this question, at least know that you may not need years. It can happen at any time, because nobody knows what works. So, know that. You don't need to be necessarily a disciple or a seeker or a student all the time. You are a student because you know that it's possible just now. Then, free from being a student or a master.
Is mind everything?
Everything we see, feel, conceptualize, smell, touch. Yes. All the manifestation is called the mind. And the one who sees the manifestation is in the mind. At least as long as it thinks it's all real.
So what about if you're a human, you have physical need, emotional need, social need. Is this also part of mind?
Exactly. Could you repeat to me? Socially, everything is the mind. Everything is the mind. Everything. So, all what you objectify is the mind. And the first thought, I am born, is in the mind. It's already the mind. That's why it looks real. Because I am born doesn't see anything else. And this question, but who am I? What is my face before birth? Can make the reality of this objective world collapse. And when I say collapse, don't be afraid, means the reality will collapse. It can still appear and disappear till you die in the body. But for that one has to have this very astonishing or strange or mad search. But who am I before I am born? It's also like a search for God, but who is this God which one, of course, conceives beyond this world? It's all the same questions. So know that whatever is objectified is the mind, is the manifestation. So keep quiet, not in time, so it's expressed, just allow yourself to just be disengaged from the mind. And I don't ask you to establish a state. Just allow yourself to check. And then in that check, you are. You see that that has always been there. And that is always there.
So I wonder, because when I look back on some moments where there has been coming some grace or like some recognition.
Recognition of what?
Of existence somehow, of that vastness, of that beauty. I mean, it's hard to describe.
Okay.
But what I want to point to is that I see that before this there was some immense intensity, either of fear or pleasure, or just like an intense energy that was just like so vast.
Yeah.
That there was just a forced surrender, or something was just like dying in that moment.
Yeah.
And then something deeper could be revealed.
Yeah.
So I wonder if I can, in my helplessness somehow, in this longing, to recognize, if I can create situations where this energy can build up to kind of that makes me surrender. You know what I mean? So that the surge is kind of a helpless longing to create that intensity that makes me surrender, basically.
Yeah, but you surrender to beauty, vastness. It is still in someone. Huh? It's still an experience of someone. Nothing wrong, in the contrary, how lucky you are. But it is not. This is personal.
It returns to be personal, certainly.
It has always been. You never left the one who is born. Even though, of course, you have the experience of being not only that, but you know it. So who knows that, you see? So I mean to say, if you can hear this, because it will be hard, it's like an attainment and you thought this was the real thing. So if you can hear this, it will help you to not to create a platform which looks more real than another, because that creates the trouble. Because any platform is limited, you see. It will go on changing. At least then you will not be busy in trying to fix a better platform, which is fake anyway. Because it's not fake when you live it, but it's in time. I mean, it's in time. It's not who you really are. So I don't know about... otherwise, if you stay in the mind, you can have any power in the mind and you can play with that, sure. So for me, the surrender would be, okay, whatever I experience is still in the realm of the individual that I believed, at least I believed I was. And see that you are not only that. And you don't need to experience that. Once is enough. You see, once is enough. It's like when you thought in the dark that, that you see two eyes, this dog, and then you come near or somebody makes, and you see it's a cat. You can never confuse. Even if you don't see the cat, you know it's a cat. You don't need to see twice. And even if you mistake, you know, oh, this cat, this dog, whatever. I mean, once is enough. I don't know to call it, generally we say to realize it, it's not in time, once is enough. All the rest, it's a personal destiny which is seen and which has its own span of life. And of course, an individual can live such a spiritual realms. You see, there are so many layers in this personal existence. You can reach them and see vastness and beauty and impersonality too. Yeah.
So somehow something pops up when you are speaking regarding intimacy.
Yeah.
So the way I live it is that in this disengaging, it somehow pulls out of me, which is somehow what we speak about. But the way I live it here in that time and space is more towards an intimacy, which means it's coming back to that rawness of me, so the personal me, the illusion of the me, in that nakedness, and then to let it sink, because it feels so intimate, still so personal. Okay, but then in that closeness, it's very close, it's very intimate, it's very full somehow. Sometimes it disappears. So it's like, it's not like running away of it, it's becoming more intimate with it. This is
okay, but no, this intimacy is movements of the mind because you were searching out. Now you search in towards the source, but actually it's a story of the mind.
Yes.
You never have been away from yourself, because why you are in satsang? Normally it's to know myself, what is not mine. You know, it's to know the self of all beings.
But it's clear that when we speak about free from the body or free in the body, you know, in this like spiritual world, we speak about different levels, that it's an integration as a human being.
But I don't believe in those things.
Okay.
I believe it brings you certain kinds of experience, of course, I mean, but it will not help you at all. You will not be nearer, because even if you are the most intimate, as you say, it's still a movement of the mind.
Yeah, it's a transition.
And then there is no bridge, you see. You cannot ever bridge the mind to oneself because it's unexistent and substantial by nature.
But the less dense it becomes, it appears to
It
dissolve.
appears and it appears again. It appears again. It's an experience. You never have been away, you see. So even to indicate, go back to the source, it's a kind of help, of course, because it empties your mind, but still it is the mind. Still it is the mind. So, and it means there is a belief, I have been away, so I have to go back home. And that itself is totally wrong. We have not to go back home. Can you drop all that story? No, but just now and never take it back?
If I don't ask myself the question.
It's up to you.
So what's better, the cappuccino or salam?
Both. Both are very nice.
Depends on the cappuccino.
But you know, still what I see is that even if you have solved your search, I see that to have satsang in one's daily life, sometimes doesn't need to be all the time, but to keep some time for satsang in daily life. It's like the vigilance Papaji was speaking about, you see, up to the last breath. Because the mind runs, and he's such a beaver, he constructs everything, and even though one knows. But I still would advise, spare a moment. Wherever you are, spare a moment not to be engaged. Don't ask why, don't ask this. It's just like that. And I would not call this moment a samadhi. is just impossible to speak about. Everybody has known this, even in the childhood. I'm sure everybody has known, but because the mind was taken for everything and so on, one attributes this moment, for example, who has not known, or it's very unhappy, but it's rare, that in his childhood or whenever, to have just a peak of ecstatic moment of, and I say ecstatic because it looks nobody is there, it's just pure beauty or love or happiness. But then the mind attributes to landscape, sunset, woman, this, that, you see. And one then listens to the mind, then wants to repeat to me the sunset, the woman, the this and the that, to again produce that. And this is the trouble, because that moment, after all, is free and is there regardless of, and it goes. So everybody knows that. The attribution is wrong. No laughing. You are well?
Huh?
You are well?
Sorry?
Are you well?
Well, may I sing a song?
You cannot say it like this simply?
I have a little bit of cold.
Oh, yeah.
I can
So-
sing?
With a cold, you sing with a
Actually,
cold?
I can try.
And then, what does it mean, your song? No, but what do you want to express with the song?
Some joy. Some
You're so joyful,
happiness, yes.
you're very happy.
Yes, yes. Gratitude.
But your quietness shows that too.
Yes.
Yes.
So, either way.
Because you will not sing so well with a cold,
Oh.
Very nice. And what's the reason of your joy?
My joy?
Yes.
I don't know. May the love we share spread its wings, fly across the earth, and sing its song to every soul that is alive. May the blessings of your grace, my love, shine on everyone, and may we all see the light within, the light within. Papa Ji, Jai Ho. Papa Ji ki Jai Ho.
Papa Ji ki Jai Ho. Papa Ji ki Jai Ho.
Papa Ji Jai Ho. Papa Ji ki Jai Ho. Papa Ji ki Jai Ho. Papa Ji ki Jai Ho.
Thank you.
Arunachal
Oh my God!
Mahadeva.
It's nice.
Ganga, can you please speak a little bit about the relationship with God, the source, the use of prayer?
Oh dear. It's so intimate that one doesn't like to speak about.
I mean, to stay connected to that, you know, in the state of presence, and the use of prayer.
Yeah, you know what to say. I think they are like, it's two different things. To pray towards God that we don't know, but there is a trust, there is a faith, because there is so much mystery and beauty, in fact, or to be consoled by God because it's very hard life. You see, it brings you to your heart. So already a prayer brings you to your heart, and it's better than to always be in the head. I mean, it's more human. One gets more human, and that's not bad in the world. Now, so let's say you get intimate with your most cherished, unconceivable concept of what has to be there, what is there. Otherwise, how can you explain this creation and all that? And you can be at peace with that. You can be thankful to have this means. Now, a few among those who have done that, or even those who didn't believe in God, they are in deep hell. They suffer a lot also in between their prayers. And sometimes they feel God doesn't answer. So they start to search, but what's all that? You see, and eventually they can, instead of asking, where are you, God, they may ask, but who am I actually? Who am I? And then there is this saying, you are absolutely nobody. It was a notion of you, it was an idea to think. You are a creature, you are somebody, you have a personal life. It looks like it's like that, but in fact, all living beings share the same unknown. You can call it God, you can call it the divine, you may not call it at all, you are just it. So it's as you like, or you keep quiet there with a prayer, with that indication to go back from where even a creature it came from, or you directly keep quiet there, you see, as you like. After all, a prayer is a surrender. To surrender. So we don't need even to think we are a creature. Yeah.
I just want to share.
Yeah, a little loud. Yeah. A bit louder.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just want to share.
Yeah.
You may just cry, but it's fine.
Yes.
It's a big thing to say, but I asked to say, so it feels. Make you listen to it. So I heard 2 days ago the passing of Balkrishna at Karuna. And
The parting of Balkrishna?
yeah,
Yeah, I know, yeah.
you know. And I felt to share because I have this great love, and I don't know what to say really. I just wanted to say that
Enough beautiful.
mm,
Enough beautiful.
isn't that
Love. Enough beautiful to say.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's the love for yourself because there is no form anymore.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, that was his blessing, gift. His gift.
Yeah, then that's it.
Yeah. 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 I'm very grateful. Yeah. I wasn't part of the ceremonies or anything.
Let's not speak of ceremonies. It's all fine. It's gone now.
Yeah.
And you are left with love
Yeah.
of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not subject to time.
I'm sorry?
It's not subject of the time.
Yeah.
It is not subject, how you would say? To time. You also don't know what to say. It's okay. So somebody else. So? No? So